It's J-Dog, and we are here for the round 17 AFL review. Pretty good weekend of footy, but do you know what makes my day? When I get a message in saying, I'm in, and it's not what I'm talking to my wife. The big guy, the J-Dog, he said, I'm in, and I'm back. And I have got a smile. I've got a smile on my face like Luna Park right now. For the people who can hear it in my voice, having the great man back to talk about. It's our podcast. It's our podcast, and I'm rapt to have him in. So, Jamie Wallis, how you feeling, big boy?
Chris, I am very well. Yes, our schedules have finally aligned. We've managed to make the Monday nights work because I was, as a Dennis Committee said, the cork in the ocean. I was the one that was sort of holding you back because I couldn't commit to Tuesdays. I just found it hard to commit with the family life. But we've all sat down. We've brought our agents in. We've gone around the round table. We've loaded up their WebEx meetings and we've worked it out. I can now commit again to Monday nights, 8 p.m. every week with the 365-game superstar from the East Keilor Football Club, one of the player who would refuse to stand in a hole, couldn't kick a goal, and couldn't lay a tackle.
But I did all the 1%ers, and that's...
Oh, right. You're 1%er man, were you?
I'm a 1%er man. No, I always stood in the hole. You can get nose like this hanging out of packs, my friends. Hey, it has been a massive week of football. I'm going to get into Jamie because we want to hear what's been going on with him because it's been quite a long time. But huge weekend of football. Ramifications across the board. Some teams have slid back a little bit. Some teams have put themselves into a really positive position. About, 7 weeks to go, I think, in the AFL season. So football trips are starting to be booked, and trips to Melbourne, Brisbane, or Adelaide are going to be booked potentially as well, depending which team makes it in there. So, want to get into that. A bit of news to get through. We're going to have a look at the games as well, too. Have a bit of a look at the ratings. Chat about all the goodness that's been AFL driven. But J-Dog, before we get into it, we want to know how have you been? More importantly, how's the family? How's life? What did you get up onto the weekend? And I also noticed that you were snacking on something very, very reminisce that is fading away for the listeners, if you want to get into that as well, because I think that's very, very important before we get into the main stuff.
Well, we're going to start, Pep, so I can start with what I was snacking on. And for those who are, well, obviously you can't watch a podcast, but when they're watching live tonight with us, Fantales. I'm on the Fantales. I figure the news the other week that Fantales was going down, Allens are going to stop. Allens are making, if I was Allens, they're making some terrible decisions. One of them, Peppermint Leaves, one of my favourites, gone. Allen's Lollies, Fantales, gone. What's going on there? So I'm snacking on the Fantales, caramel. I shouldn't have eaten it about a minute before the show started because I've now got caramel all through my teeth. Life for me, Peps. What's been going on? Well, I have got some news. We're about to have our... Well, your days, your best days are... Shit, they are long behind you.
Using the rack.
But we're about to have another podcast, baby, Peps.
Yes, another podcast, baby. Is it number three, big dog?
Number 3 for us. So, yeah, we've got Hux Naya and about to be joined by a third girl.
How could you not be excited by the big dog? He's just, how good is it? Just news.
But Peps,
yeah, mate.
It does come with some. It does come with some news that every football parent doesn't like to hear.
What's that?
Due date somewhere around the grand final day. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've stuffed it up.
It won't matter. You won't make it anyway, so don't have to worry about it, J-Dog.
21st, 18th, all those events, Peps. First birthdays. No one's going to a first birthday when grand final's on. No one's going till 21st when the grand final's on.
No one's going to just a couple of hockey straps around the ankles, mate. You're done.
Just either go early or go late.
Let's be honest. What would you prefer? Would you prefer a close one, or would you prefer a 2007 job when you know it's over by quarter time?
Let's go early.
Let's go early. All right. So if it's over, it's okay.
Correct.
Well, we're going to get there first of all. That's the main thing too. By the way, just as you were chewing the fantail, I put a bit of a vid up the weekend talking about how awesome Scotch peanut bars are. I want to get into how awesome Arnott's 100,000 biscuits are. They're my favourite at the moment. I could smash a packet.
They're a terrible choice. That's a terrible choice. It's a boring biscuit for boring people.
Boring people.
What's endearing about an Arnott's 100,000 biscuit?
They're just Moorish.
It's a slab of biscuit with some icing sugar and some sprinkles. That is uninspiring.
Or a fantail, a caramel with some words on paper.
Facts, mate. Facts don't lie.
Yeah, I could have used the internet for it. They're old facts anyway. Hey, you know what's fact? The AFL ladder is a big one that I would like to have a quick chat about because J-Dog, the movement has happened over the weekend and...
No, give listeners half a chance. Give them half a chance to look at it, but you just put it up and bring it down straight away. Give them a chance.
I didn't have any of these issues for weeks when I was by myself. All right, Collingwood on top of the ladder with your boys, Port Adelaide. 2 good wins on the weekend. Collingwood actually looked really susceptible by the Dogs. The Dogs at one stage, I think, with their first 2 or 3 goals was something like 18 possessions to 2.
Yeah.
They hadn't even touched the ball, Collingwood, after they kicked their first 2 or 3. That's how much of control. But they were able to do something that a lot of teams can't do, which is they were able to, as we would say, spin the magnets and be able to readjust mid-game and pretty much run over the Dogs as well too. So it was...
double seagull.
Yeah, double seagull.
Mitchell and Dacos, double seagull.
What are they a double seagull for?
Because Mitchell's a seagull and Dacos is a seagull.
Oh, I call them sheepdogs, mate. They just around the back of the pack. Get them up.
No, Dacos definitely is not a sheep. It's not a sheepdog.
Doesn't get hardballs. Brisbane Lions on 48. The D's had to win against St Kilda on the weekend. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Sitting in 4th position. Now, this is where it starts to tighten up. 1 game clear of Essendon, St Kilda and Western Bulldogs on 36 points. Essendon took their chance. St Kilda and Western Bulldogs haven't. Geelong are finally back in after a few people on this podcast, mainly me, said that they won't be 8 finals. Still only in there by 2 points. Things can happen. Adelaide, once again, can't win out of Melbourne. Fell over again. GWS, they've just got a bit of a sniff in this one, coming back into 10th spot. Sitting nice on 32 points. They are, once again, just a game, but they're a lot of percentage outs. So you could almost say that they're 2 games out. Carlton with a great win over in Fremantle have joined Richmond on 30. Gold Coast, well, I think the sun is set on their season. Same with Fremantle. Sydney Swans are putrid. Hawthorn are woeful. North, crap. And West Coast, I don't even know why we even talk about them anymore because they're just chewing up airtime. That's how bad I would say those bottom 3 teams are.
I'll tell you what.
Yep. Is the final 8 set, J-Dog?
No, I'm not going to say that, but I'll tell you what.
What?
I watched the Ashes last night. I'm crushed by that. Are Adam Simpson and David Warner the hardest people to remove from their clubs?
No.
One. David, I know it's a footy podcast. I get it. David Warner. What else can you do to get him out of the team?
Tell you what, he's got the same photos that Alex Neil-Bullen has of Simon Goodwin.
Oh, you always take it back to Alex Neil-Bullen, don't
you? Big Trev. When he kicked the first goal of the game on the weekend, the love machine turned around to Big Trev, who was sitting five rows back, and just gave him the old double cobra, A and B, and Trev told him to get stuffed over the entire Marvel Stadium crowd.
Well, it was another insipid performance by the West Coast Eagles again.
They're just insipid, full stop. They've got no one. They've got no money. They've got more money in the bank, but they've got nothing to pay players. They've spent. I can't believe they've just got to cut them loose, mate. Just cut them loose.
All right.
Cut them loose. Start from scratch again.
So let's look at this top 8. You said it's set. You said it's set. Yeah. Is that what you're claiming?
No. I said, is it set?
Oh, is it set? No, for mine it's not.
No, okay. Top 4 set.
Top 4 set.
Yep.
I don't see anyone coming into that.
I do.
You are so. I know. Okay, right. Who's going?
A bit of
who's in and out?
And I can't believe I'm going to say this. Charlie Keegan is going to start absolutely slapping his beefsteak when he hears this. Essendon are a massive chance to finish 4th.
Above
Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah, Melbourne have got a hard run. At the next 3 weeks, they've got
hard teams.
Brisbane. We've got Brisbane, Adelaide, Richmond, Carlton over the next 4 weeks.
So you win 3 and 4.
We should win 3. But then a lot of those teams, I know Essendon play Geelong. I think St Kilda are the most susceptible. They're too many injuries at the moment. It's going to be really, really hard. Really, really hard too. So, Western Bulldogs. Like I said, I think Adelaide can still sneak in.
Above who?
Above St Kilda. Yeah, I think St Kilda.
Saints are done.
Yeah, I think they're done. After the weekend, I think they're done. You know, it's not done, mate. We're not done because we are awesome. And we've got the people in the chat. Charlie Keegan's here. Big Jolly Michael's joined us again. Great to see the boys online as normal. Hey, we've got the link in the chat. If you want to join us on the show, click the link, join us in, have a bit of a chat to us live on the air. Hear your opinions over the weekend. Hey, Big Dog, time to spin some magnets. If you remember what we used to do when we spun the magnets, I used to prepare it and you used to just, ride my coattails.
Yeah, used to share on it.
Yep, that's going to continue as normal. But because you're here, what would you like to do, mate? Would you like to give the votes or who would you like to drag?
I want to go with the votes. I'm positive.
Let's get some votes, everybody.
3 votes.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
3 votes.
Beautiful. 3 votes. All right, lots of votes coming through this weekend. First of all, Zach Toohey. Most games are played by an Irishman in the AFL, VFL history. Overtook the magnificent Jim Steins, Brownlow medalist, premiership player, very well liked across the board. Congratulations. I don't think anyone's going to top that, unfortunately. I thought Steinsy played like 241 of those in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Toohey's just doesn't look like he's going to stop. I reckon he could get to 300. He's playing pretty good footy. Plays off half-back, and as you know, that's where the hard players play, off the half-back line, and he's great off both feet. I like him. And, I just thought I'd give a bit of kudos, and a bit of kudos to North Melbourne for lining up and giving a bit of a congratulations, because they've been absolutely thumped, and the last thing you want to do is stand there on the ground, clapping off the people who've absolutely pantsed you. So, first and foremost. All right, yes. Second one. Now, this is an interesting one I have to give out, is that pretty much as of tonight, the rumour or the innuendo going around was that it looks like Hawthorn are not going to get any draft pick taken off them as part of the racism inquiry.
Okay.
So there is a financial aspect or financial impact which is likely to occur, they reckon. Once again, this is all a rumour and innuendo. But I think it's good that they're not going to be losing draft picks over this, especially if it still hasn't been worked out by the end of the year. But mind you, though, the AFL did kick Essendon out of the finals, which if you speak to every Essendon supporter, it still hasn't been proven what they've been taking.
True.
You haven't tested positive either, did he?
Who?
Yep.
Lance?
Yeah, he never tested positive, did he?
No.
No. It's like Essendon.
Nothing to see here. I mean, I don't. Okay. I honestly don't know who's at fault with this whole thing. I don't know if it's AFL trying to sweep it under the rug. I don't know if it's. I don't know. So okay.
If you're walking through AFL house and you trip, it's been swept. The other one I wanted to do, and I was really hoping to get this guy on tonight. I was going to get, Tommy Roker was going to join us. Unfortunately, it looks like he's been called into work because he has got a very specified interest in the national championships with the Allies team. And the Allies, for the first time ever in the team's history, won the 2023 national championship with Mark McVeigh as captain. Sorry, Mark McVeigh as coach. Choose if he's captain. That's a long
team.
Got one of those dodgy licenses that you used to get to go to the Metro nightclub, Jamie, if you remember that. But they were coached by Mark McVeigh and sealed the title with an 11-point win over Vic Country over the weekend. So he has got a massive liking to that. To the point, he was saying that if Stewie Dew does not survive,
won't survive.
You know how it goes? He reckons that Mark McVeigh would be perfect for them. Hungry coach, very well respected at GWS. Hurd went up there for him. Solomon went up there for him as well too. And they reckon he would have, if he coached like he played, strap yourselves in, bring your mouth guards to training, boys, because he could add the extra grunt that I think that they need.
I
like it.
Family Feud. Oh, 3 strikes. Your answer is not on the board. Peps. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
Mark McVeigh is not going to coach Gold Coast Suns.
Hey, that's what Tommy Roker said, not me.
Damien Hardwick is going to coach got Suns. It's an AFL fix-up. They're not going to put an untried coach in there again.
Fair enough.
Done. And Solomon has been there for way too long. And I think it's gone now. He's gone. He's been gone 3 years now.
Yeah, he went to GWS. So,
yeah.
Exactly right. A couple of things that have come in off the chat. Love throwing some votes out here. Love to see. Charlie Keegan has asked, a good one is that Ridley is out with his knee. So Essendon are going to struggle, but it's not a major knee. So it's a bit of bone bruising. So he's very happy about that. Jolly Michael just wants us to keep rubbishing Freo. Plus, trust me, I will. He also wanted to give out 3 votes, Charlie Keegan. The Bombers and the Crows having a good old-fashioned shootout where both teams scored 100 points. It was actually a very, very good game. I bet you a few Essendon supporters would have been tightening the sphincter in those last probably 15 minutes when they went on a bit of a rampage, the Crows. I think they had it pretty much to the end as well, too. And more importantly, Tori Williams is on. Tori's on the chat again tonight. And evening to you, young lady. Great to have you on board as well, too. So,
did you harass her at the footy on the weekend? No, you didn't go.
I didn't go, but I will be there this week watching the D's and Lions at the MCG. All right, Ron, where are you, big boy?
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody weak as piss.
All right, you know who's weak as piss, Jamie? Fremantle. Fremantle are as weak as piss. They are insipid. They lost to Carlton. Let's be honest, Carlton have been nothing but average. They have won their last 3, but they have been absolutely average for most of this season, especially over the last 2 months where they lost 5 in a row. They're slipping down the ladder, which just means, this is the best part about it, Melbourne currently have pick 5 in the draft because of the pick swap for Luke Jackson last year. So we are just hoping Fremantle complete heap. That would be sensational if that happened. Oh, could you imagine? Just keep losing. Keep on losing.
What has happened with Freo? This is the team that was supposed to turn around this year, make the 8, be competitive, and they are anything but this year.
They
start well.
They beat Melbourne. They beat Geelong, I believe, earlier in the year, and then they go and serve up against Carlton at home.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there. Something's not clicking.
And beaten badly because Carlton once again bought their awesome kicking boots. They actually got some goals this week, but they didn't kick straight.
Jamie, it was a pantsing. I think at one stage they were 50-odd points up in front. I think at one stage it was just climbing. I'm thinking this shouldn't be happening. And when I saw them live a few weeks ago when they beat Melbourne, Luke Jackson absolutely dominated. You think with him and Darcy in the team, but it's almost a bit of Grundy Gorm where they almost cancel each other out rather than one person dominating. They got their hands on from the hit-outs perspective, dominated the game. We'll have a quick chat about later on. But they couldn't do anything with it. So the connection between the ruckman and the midfielders just wasn't there. And Carlton just pretty much they were the Dyson vacuum, and they just picked up all the crumbs that were coming off the ruckman's hands in the centre.
Yep. All right, so Freo's not good. Who else is in your list?
St Kilda.
Ooh.
Now, because of the 3 injuries that they got in the first quarter, just
that was so unlucky.
that was stiff. Like I'm dragging them, not in a you're crap, but it's just like drag like that. I know Buzz threw one out there. Nicky Serace threw a message out to me saying very, 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 very lucky. Good old Stone Cold Steve Austin Sharabas, who's a massive family friend, said the same thing as well too. They literally dominated Melbourne for most of the game. Had more inside 50s, more contested possessions, more clearances, everything, and Melbourne won just because of straight kicking, which has literally been what Melbourne has done over the last 4 weeks, where they have dominated games and just weren't able to put it on the scoreboard. So very, very frustrating. And I think they're going to run out of petrol tickets towards the end of the season as well. So I can't see them doing anything in the finals at all if they make it, because they've already got injuries and then they just added another 3. So you got 6 of your best out. Teams can't cope with 6 out. Don't care who you are. Don't care if you're Collingwood. Don't care if you're Geelong. Don't care if you're East Keeler. I don't care if you're Rupert's Wood Thirds. You can't. If you got 6 out, it's going to be tough. If I put a 2.1, Max King doing his shoulder, just to see how he did it. Yeah, just goes to show these are so refined units that just one little pop and it goes. Dropping. Can I throw Adelaide in there too, J-Dog? Can I drag Adelaide?
Ooh. You want to drag Adelaide after a last quarter shootout?
Mate, they can don't let the last quarter suck you in. They continue to be putrid outside of South Australia. They've had 1 win outside of South Australia. Sorry, They've had 2 away wins, and one of those was against your mob. Right? And that one win was against Hawthorn. If you remember that game, they should have been smashed by that. They've got to improve if they want to do anything in September. Anything in September.
But they're there. They are there, Peps.
At the moment, they're there.
They are there.
They're not there. They're outside the 8.
Well, they are outside by what? 2?
A game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And it was right in front of me.
Look,
right in front of me.
as a supporter of a team who could not beat top 8 teams for about 8 years, just got to win. Just got to win what you can win.
You just got to do what you got to do.
Just got to get the 12 or the 13, Peps.
You just got to do it. And, it was just really frustrating watching Adelaide just not turn up again.
I agree.
I
agree. It's Nixie's now 3rd year at that club. 3rd year. They've improved.
Yeah, they've improved. Them and Essendon have been the massive improvers this year. Really big improvers as well too. So you got to look everything holistically. They've got a great forward line. Midfield's okay. They're just up and down. They're bipolar.
Yeah.
They're up, they're down, they're in, they're out. They're Katy Perry all over. Hey, J-Dog.
Yes, mate.
I want to talk about our journey to the draft. Jacob Grant, for everybody who hasn't known, Jacob Grant played in the Vic Country team over in Perth a couple of weeks ago. Came back this week, played against the Sandringham Dragons, had a bit of a slower game, a bit of a slump at the moment. I had a bit of a chat to the great man, Bazza Grant. He's his dad, his trainer, his mentor, his coach. He said he's been a bit of a slump, but we're just going to get back to basics this week. So he's hoping to have an absolute cracker against Calder Cannons this week. They've only got 4 weeks left until finals. So he really needs to just get back to basics and not overthink a little bit. And hopefully we'll be talking to him on draft night. Rightio. Guest has joined us tonight. If you're watching it live right now, the superstar Huxie Wallis has joined us. Does he want to give us a bit of a wave or a bit of a shout out?
Let me just see. Huxie, do you want to say hello to Peps and give a wave on the camera? No. He's complete opposite of his father. He's got manners, respect for the people online. He's the superstar, your son. Is he Collingwood or Port Adelaide, J-Dog? He is Collingwood.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's so nice to see you, J-Dog, and what a cutie little man. Oh, Tori, that's beautiful. For the people who joined us a little bit late wondering, what is J-Dog doing on the chat? What's he doing here again? Well, some great news. He's back. He's back. He's bad. He's mad. Yes, we are back. The dynamic duo are back together. We've been able to work things out on Monday nights. It suits us best. So the team, Tango Cash.
Although, Peps, can I just say, I know we've got a news section coming up, but I thought being Monday night first at the news, we just have a crack at things. Mm-hmm. I think David King's tapping into my phone, mate. I've just got some concerns. I think Kingy's on my phone.
Well, do you reckon that we should go to a bit of what? Where is it?
You're trying to find yourself.
Where is it? Hold on. A bit of this. I've had to use it for a few weeks, Jacob.
It's time for Around the Grounds with Laceout's #1 newsbreaker, Jamie Wallis. Over to you, big fella.
All right. So tell me, how is David King hacking your phone?
I was going to start the show off today with my news segment as threesomes.
The menage.
Out of bounds, on the full.
What I have noticed over the last... Because I've had a lot of time to watch football. I've been in Bali for a couple of weeks. I've been far at the KO, and I've had multiple screens. I've been at the Y bar, for those who have been into Bali, into Legion, the Y bar. Footy screens all around, cricket screen, phone going as well. I've had it all going. But I watched a lot of footy. And Peps, what I'm noticing is a lot of teams get in on the threesomes. The top performing teams are getting in on the pressure. And three-way tackles. I'm starting to notice that instead of teams, and we notice a little bit with premiership teams and premiership that sort of echelon of teams, that they hunt in packs. And what I'm noticing is those teams are hunting in threes. Okay. And so what you're seeing, and what I've noticed, is when teams are turning over the ball, you've got a main tackler and two out of there to pick up and scoop and either get outside and forward of the ball, or to be that one chain handball to then get onto the boot and kick it forward.
Okay, so based on that, if you had to think of who are the top 5 defensive teams in the league right now,
Yep.
who would you go? And I've got the list in front of me. So who do you think that they would be?
Collingwood,
They're second.
Port.
You're 6th.
Okay, so just that side. I'm going to say Brisbane.
5th.
Number 1 for pressure, I'm going to say...
Defensive ranking.
Defensive ranking. Sorry, defensive ranking.
Pretty simple.
No, not D. D's?
Yeah, Melbourne are first. Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to say...
team you wouldn't pick, especially after they've had a really average... I've just spoken about them.
Couple of weeks. Freo. Or Saints.
Carlton.
Yep. Okay.
So they're the top 5 in terms of defensive rankings at the moment as well too. But I definitely agree that the teams that are playing really good football at the moment, they've got their scoring off turnover. That seems to be the big stat these days is
Correct.
scoring off turnover. I watched Essendon a good bit yesterday. My goodness gracious! Like I've given absolute crap over the years. This year, mate, they've got me excited, which I don't really want to say all that often but I'm bi-partial to this. I like watching good footy, and it's they pressured yesterday's game against Adelaide. They didn't let them breathe.
That was the game that made me come up with the threesomes because all you saw was just Essendon just flanking and just on constantly. They couldn't breathe. Adelaide couldn't breathe.
The two that I see do it a lot is Collingwood definitely do it. So they if there's 3 at the contest, they'll put 4.
Yeah.
If they go 5, they'll go 6. So they'll always have that extra one there. So Collingwood do that. Melbourne are very just pressure full stop.
Mm-hmm.
They try and get an outnumber at the contest and work off the turnover as well too. But that's been their mantra for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So for us, it's not anything different. But definitely Carlton stood up. Collingwood have stood up. Even Port. Port have been defensively a little bit wishy-washy at times. But this run that you've had of 13 games in a row, I'm even seeing some of the high pressure coming in as well too.
Correct.
So I think, it's all good and well to have scoring forward lines. But if you can stop the opposition and get the ball off them, you're in a much, much, much better place. And you're right, it's cracking football. And you have a look at all the teams that won on the weekend. Richmond, they squeezed Sydney.
Yeah.
And you got to look at one stage, that game was in Sydney's hands. And I thought, this is going to be a bit of a turnover.
First half, yeah.
First half. Carlton absolutely squeezed Fremantle, which, like I said, I don't think many people saw. Geelong had their way with North Melbourne, so that's okay. Collingwood squeezed the Western Bulldogs probably after that first quarter,
Yeah.
I'd say. Even though they think they kicked 5 goals in that first quarter, they still weren't 100% on. But then literally after halftime, I thought the squeeze went on. And they took over the game from there. Who am I missing? Your mob took out Gold Coast. Like that scoreline at one stage was, geez, they've really kicked away here. So there's and GWS, what GWS did on the weekend against Hawthorn, like that was a really tight game. But GWS, they've also picked up their stock since Kingsley's taken over. So you're exactly right. The menage a trois around the ball is making a massive difference to how teams are playing and successful teams. And they say, forward lines get you to finals, but defenses win premierships. And you're pretty much right. If you have a look at the top 8 teams in the rankings for the defensive side of things, Melbourne, Collingwood, Carlton, St Kilda, Brisbane, Port Adelaide, Geelong, Western Bulldogs, every one of those teams are in the 8 except the Carlton.
Yeah.
And they're the anomaly.
Yeah.
Okay, so because they've been able to stop it, they just haven't been able to do anything at the other end of the ground because they're 13th for their forward line. Just a couple of things that have come in off the chat as well too. Good old Fang. Fang was supposed to join us live last week. Forgot. So if he wants to join this week, he can. Craigie Jones, he's horny. I'm tipping he's talking about the old hyphen man horn at Francis. Jazz, now the Roo Boys joined us, and I'm just going to quote him. I'm quoting him here, everybody, so close your ears if you're under the age of 18. Fuck footy. I'm over footy. Fuck, it's time for next season. Lions will win the flag. Cut the crap, Pep. It's a 2-horse race.
That's Buzz, you idiot.
No, Buzz. Well, don't have a sook Buzz because you lost in the weekend, all right? I don't think it's a 2-horse race. I still don't think it's a 2-horse race.
That's Buzz saying that. That's not Jazz.
No. I said Buzz.
Okay.
Roo Boys cracked it because North The $650,000 man, Griffin Logan's done his knee. Just things could go worse to worse. All right. Rightio. And when's Rosie going to get his prize for goal of the year?
First and second.
Talking about the dribbler?
The dribble was sexy.
You talking about that one along the boundary? That was a poor man. That was a poor man's Petrarca. He did a better one in a grand final. So don't worry about that, Craigie James.
Peps, did you see your grand final? Have you seen your grand final? Were you there to watch it live? Anyway, okay, my second topic.
Go for it.
It's a bit of a tech news.
Okay.
KO has finally upgraded or upgraded.
Yep.
Is that right? The right word to say? Is technology upgraded?
Yeah, upgraded, yeah.
Yeah. So, updated. Sorry.
Okay. Yep.
Updated the Google Chromecast app. So now you can do split screen on your device. So once it was phones and then you could Chromecast it up and you can do all that rubbish. Now you can do it live on your actual Google subscription app.
On the Google?
On the Google.
On the Google?
I got home and I turned on. I think I had to re-sign into every flipping service.
Yep.
On to Google and I'm like, whoa. There's something. It's split screen. I can watch 2 games at once, Pets. I could watch my game and your game Saturday night. I was having a great time.
Well, I will say one thing, J-Dog. I had the cricket when the test was on, not the World Championship. I had the cricket and the footy on at the same time, and literally, there's probably not much that would have topped that.
Yep.
There wouldn't have been much. It was just perfect. How good is it? It's just perfect just to sit there. It's finally, we don't have to have 2 devices going up. But that means now on our 2 devices, we can have 2 sports on one, and now we can have a third on the other.
Well, yesterday I had the same thing. I was watching F1, and I think I had the cycling on my phone with the Channel 9 on my phone as well. Both videos. It's great.
Oh, okay. Well, when you're talking about KO, Tori said, get rid of KO. Drago is the way to go. $10 a month for all sport. Now, I don't want to know more about that. So, Tori, if you've got a link to Drago, or anyone can put a link to the Drago app in the chat.
Ivan Drago?
That's what I did when I looked up. I came up with Ivan Drago straight away too. So I don't know what it is, but if we can find it, we'll put a link in the chat because anyway we can save you a bit of cash. All right. Any other things, J-Dog, from a news perspective you want to bring up before we get into a couple of things before we have a quick round the grounds?
News things. Peps, do you think that the top 2 is locked in?
Yes.
So you subscribe to that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's it.
I think the top 2 is in. Well, you're 3 games clear. 3 games clear of one, 2 games clear of another. Now, unless some of those start bunging on with each other, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Okay.
My issue, though, is if somehow, and this has come from Craig Jones. Craig Jones reckons Collingwood are going to drop to 3rd, play Port Adelaide, import, and do a Sam Stozer and go straight sets.
I don't think, Craig, can you please retract that? I have bad early 2000s memories of Collingwood knocking Port Adelaide out with home games in finals.
Yeah.
Please retract that.
As well too. Look, if I have a look, like I said, we've had a look at the ladder already. Top 2's done. Brisbane will be 3rd. So I don't think Brisbane can win the grand final. They need 2 finals.
So top 3 is locked, you saying?
Okay, top 3's locked.
Okay, all right.
And I still think 4th is up for debate, but I know that there's a lot of those teams. Melbourne have got a bit of a tough run over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And it's Hawthorn, North, Carlton, Sydney, something along those lines. So it's a bit thinner towards the back end. But there's a lot of those teams that play each other in the top 8 as well too. So there could be some movement. Okay. Yeah, but I reckon Brisbane. Charlie Keegan reckons Port Adelaide will go out in straight sets with 2 Peter Meter kicking an 80-meter torp after. Sorry. just when Charlie was all we had it all real for 34 minutes, and then he's kind of thrown that at us.
I come back on the show and all the crazies come back out, Peps.
I know it's not a full moon out there, is it? Not a full moon. Hey, you know what I love talking about? You know that we love talking about footy, but there's one thing that I just love when this happens.
It's probably about you, is it?
Oh, it's better than that, J-Dog.
It's your favourite topic.
Bags, bags, bags. We love it when they kick 'em. Bags, bags, bags. It's gotta be 6 or more.
Gotta be 6 or more.
Bags, bags, bags. We love it when they kick 'em. Ooh!
We got a bag on the weekend.
Who
Jack
did?
Gunston. Jack Gunston decided to have a mini dropped pre-season and come back and had a massive 6 against West Coast.
Not bad. Could have had 7.
2 in a normal game?
Hey?
Is that like kicking 2 in a normal game?
No, don't you go mongering, mud meddling, or whatever someone else said. Don't go saying that. It's worth 6.
Okay, it's worth 6. No, good on him. Good one. Especially, after what's happened in the last few weeks, he went back, got a bit of extra cardio into the system, came back, and good to see North have played him into form. Charlie Keegan, Kyle Langford, 32 goals, was essentially a third tour full. Yeah, it is, but he hasn't kicked 6. And so if he hasn't kicked 6, he doesn't get mentioned in bags. If you want to get mentioned in bags, you've got to kick 6. Not 5, that's a handful. 6 is a bag. Essendon won't win a final. Here we go.
Peps.
Starting to ramp up, isn't it? All the
Peps.
people on this podcast are starting to get...
Stop avoiding me.
Oh, okay.
What's going on with your bloke, Clayton Oliver? Now he's fighting with the trainers.
Oh, get stuffed. He just had an argument. He's a competitive...
Melbourne are falling apart at the seams, mate. They are falling apart. You can't make a ruck combo work. You got a forward that is not great.
Yep.
And you can't put your best midfielder in the team because he refuses to do the right work and wants to get on the nose beers.
Oh, okay. Right. If you're going to start that crap, I thought there was some merit to it. I'll be honest, all right. But no, look, they stuffed it. They stuffed up this whole hamstring thing. Yep.
The longest 4-week injury I've ever seen in my whole life.
No, they stuffed it. Look, from what it was explained, and I'm not going to go over old material because for people who have been here over the last X amount of months when you haven't. We've gone into this over time and time again. But, look, Buzz, here we go.
It's
Buzz,
such a...
St Kilda, go get some midgets. Maybe they might be able to play for you this week. Maybe go get some midgets and light them up, okay? And serve you your water boys because you're a shocker. And maybe you might go get Zach Dawson and Nicky Rewalt to go and take some photos together with their wangers out like in the previous days. Don't get me started on that. Anyway, he strained his hammy. Then he had got this infection, spent a week on his back in hospital, comes out, tried, pinged it again. And then apparently the argument was that because they wanted him to go at a pace that he couldn't get up to. And he's like, I don't run any faster than this. Yeah, it's not good enough. You need to run faster. Not good. So, Craigie Jones is going Port versus the Dogs. So he's saying that the Dogs are going to make top 8. Interesting. Brisbane versus Collingwood, Melbourne versus GWS, St Kilda versus Geelong. Interesting. So he's put GWS to make it. He's making St Kilda to make it. Jeez, I think you're pushing shit uphill on that one. Clary needs to suppository because he talks too much shit.
Look how easy this is.
Well, you know what? He might talk it, but Essendon, they inject it. Oh, yeah!
Emotional, damn it!
All right.
Okay.
Talk about the games now.
We talk about the games now? All right. Righty. Hey, before that, Rising Star nomination, Hawthorn youngster Seamus Mitchell has been named the Round 17 AFL Rising Star for his impressive performance in the Hawks' loss to Greater Western Sydney on Saturday. He had 20 disposals, 6 contested, 5 intercept possessions, 70% efficiency, and took 4 marks in the Hawthorns' 13-point loss to the Giants at Giants Stadium. Originally taken with pick 29 in the 2020 AFL draft, Mitchell's played 9 VFL games across 2 seasons before being delisted at the end of last season. And then he got back on the list and is now a Rising Star. Good on you, young fella. Just goes to show, unlike St Kilda, don't give up. You'll get there one day, just like Essendon, hopefully one day make finals and win one. All right. Let's have a look at the games, J-Dog. Really, really interesting set of games. And that means that obviously if we're going to be going to the games, that means we're having a look at the scoreboard.
Rightio. Kicked off on Thursday night. Sad to see the Thursday night's finish. I think this is the last week coming up for Thursday. Is that it now? The Sydney-Richmond game?
I think there's one more.
Might have one more. Anyway.
Can we just throw this out there? Just make it permanent. Just make it permanent.
I agree.
It works, doesn't it?
It does
Why
work.
don't they want to do it?
Because people don't want to go to footy on Thursday night.
They do in Adelaide.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just don't want to get in a conversation right now about it.
Thursday's day release in Adelaide, so that's why they can get big crowds there.
All right. Richmond 88 versus Sydney 75. Peps, talking points out of this game. Anything exciting that you want to talk about?
Which one's that?
We're literally on the first game.
Yeah, my list is not in order.
Richmond versus Sydney Thursday night.
Just the Fab Five are back. Shy Bolton, Dustin Martin, Prestia, Hopper, and...
Across the back.
Who?
McIntosh. McIntosh.
Mama. But Bolton, Martin, Prestia, Taranto, Hopper.
Mhm.
All back, dominated. Shy Bolton got the 10 votes. Dustin Martin got the 8. That's all you have to say about this one. They dominated. I thought they were in a bit of trouble early, the way Sydney started off. Errol Goulden continuing a pretty good season, I must admit, as well too.
Not bad. Feel sorry for Jacob Bauer, lasting a total of about 27 seconds of the game.
17 seconds longer than you last. But yeah, it's sort of a hard one, isn't it? Because and also I didn't throw Toby Nankervis in the dragged file as well too, because he'll be having a nice long holiday, won't he?
Yeah, it's 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly right. Charlie Coogan, he's not Irish, unfortunately. He might not be Irish, but his name.
No, he's not. He's from Bendigo Pioneers and Rob before that.
His name is Seamus Mitchell, and I'm going with Seamus Mitchell. All right. But they didn't get their hands on the ball. They actually had less disposals. The disposal efficiency was less. But they did dominate when it came to the contested possessions, 141 to 132. Clearances had 16 more of those. Less marks, less contested marks, but had 12 more shots. So they just moved the ball on fast. It was the Richmond of old. They were strong and they were bold. And like I said, Shy Bolton had it on a string, 31 disposals, close to 600 metres gained. Had 3 shots at goal, didn't kick any. Goal assists and 10 score involvements.
Jack Rewalt continuing his great form.
Oh God, he's got to hang him up, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, he has to. I tell you what, if he hangs him up, I'll take him down at Melbourne as a forwards coach.
Would you?
Yep, I would.
Okay.
Yep, I would.
All right. Fair enough.
Where's Sydney at the moment, J-Dog?
Do you know what? I was sitting there after the game and I thought, is this the team that played in a grand final last year? Like, is this the actual team? Am I living in a matrix? Have I taken the wrong pill? Probably along my life.
I reckon if you looked at that team,
Yeah.
23 in a grand final team, I haven't got the names, like the full thing in front of me, but you'd have to say 15 to 16 was a grand final team last year. So did they just play? Because you got to remember, they scraped in by a point against Collingwood.
Yeah. But they were there.
They were there, but they didn't. They were there.
But the team hasn't changed that much from last year's team. You'd probably say it's got... Oh, no, about the same. No, same team.
Who's improved?
No.
Who's improved? You'd probably say Errol Goulden's got better.
I would... Well, I think last year, we spoke about it.
If Bucko was on the chat tonight, he would be absolutely spraying Isaac Heaney. He reckons he's an absolute shocker.
Isaac Heaney is?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He just doesn't do enough. I think Blakey's had a better year. Hapley's gone in and gone out throughout the year as well too. Lance Franklin, they should just announce it that he's finishing. Just announce it and then do the farewell tour.
Look, I think
like when Ric Flair's when he was going to retire at WrestleMania, they announced it and then they just made it every game count for something.
And he came back about 14 times. But anyway, Peps, last year, those kids were at their absolute maximum last year. This year, I just think they just petered off a little bit, and it's heavily showing.
Yeah, it's definitely showing. As the message with Horse got older too.
14 years now in the AFL on that team. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to give him a mulligan this year.
Yeah. This year?
Yeah.
I reckon they've got... Yeah. They're in a weird spot too because they've got old, and they've got young. There's not much in the middle, I reckon. Like Rampy, Franklin.
I think Rampy one more year, Franklin not.
They've got to... I'll start moving a few of these older ones on. What's time
All right.
we got left?
Next game.
Okay, geez, you're brutal. Western Bulldogs versus Collingwood. This is the game that we spoke about. I used to go into a lot more detail than you, but that's okay. You've got me under control now, which is good. That's why the podcast used to go for about an hour and 30 minutes. Western Bulldogs versus Collingwood. I thought, like I said, when this game first kicked off, I was like, here we go. Doggies were on. And then that bloke, Nick Dacos, I watched it, and I didn't get it. Still don't get it.
What?
Why doesn't anyone play on him?
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Why doesn't anyone just play on him? Like, tag him.
Because he's got his brother there that will just do the other thing to what he won't do.
No, it's you got to tag, mate. You have to tag. And they had Buckley on the couch tonight talking about it. He goes, well, you take one out, then it sort of messes. And then Gary Lyon or Dunstall goes, but hold on, I'd rather play 17 on 17 and get their best player out. Because if you have a look on the weekend, Finn McGuinness against GWS held Josh Kelly to 6 touches. It works. It's work. Well, Buzz, it's not why they're champions. Anyone can be a champion when there's no one playing on you. Like, do you reckon he'd be able to get around it if Ryan Crowley was playing on him, if Cameron Ling was playing on him, if Kane Corns was playing on him? Like, real hard taggers. I don't know. I don't think coaches in the past would be willing to do it. But he is pretty good. Maybe I'm just jealous.
I think you're jealous. I mean, I had to get over my jealousy of him.
You know what I am jealous of Collingwood? It's not their top end, it's their bottom end. You have a look at their bottom end players, none of them play bad games.
Who's bottom end for Collingwood? I can't think of any bottom end Collingwood players.
Oh, okay. Trent Bianco.
Oh, don't go after my man,
dude.
Don't go after my man.
Your man, Trent Bianco.
Yeah.
Why is he your man?
Oh, he's my man. I just love him. I love what he did. I love what he did last year.
Patrick Lipinski.
Yeah.
Bobby Hill. Billy Frampton.
Don't
talk about Markov as well.
Don't talk about Billy.
Shut up. But they just play. That's a team that's bought into the mindset. That's all in, and they're just becoming better players. One guy, I loved it. I threw a comment up on Twitter. I still think he got his football boots as it was strapped to the front of a Dolly magazine, which was Isaac Quaynor. Jeez, he's good. He's good. He's got good hair, good boots, but geez, he's
tough.
He was tough and he was handy. Like he's one of those players that's got better. Like he was okay, but yeah, they're playing good footy at the moment.
Okay,
but I still think they are susceptible. And it showed early that because they attack so hard, if you can get through that first layer, they've got nothing out the back.
But that's every team. Because
no,
it's
not every
a
team.
forward 50 lock-in game.
No, that's their kryptonite. Because they swarm, if you're able to pressure them, it can cause turnover.
Keep one at the back, yeah.
It can cause turnover. Melbourne. That's how Melbourne beat them. That's how Brisbane beat them as well too. They pressed the swarm. But if you give them that opportunity to swarm, geez, their work rate is exceptional. And they haven't got a megastar forward line either. That's the thing that you've also got to keep in mind. Their number one forward would be
Mychek.
Mychek.
Mm-hmm.
But their other gun is Jamie Elliott. Every single week, like I look and go, why don't more teams do what they do? They just play him out of the square.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such smart football. You put a small guy, that means you can't put a big guy, and then you know he's going to get him on the lead.
Yeah.
And if the big guy's going to get it, well, you're going to kick it low. It's just smart football the way they do it. I love what they're doing. But yeah, I love what Dacos did. I actually loved what Cody Waitman did as well too. I was really impressed by his game as well too. I know I can't stand him because he ducks for free kicks and he's got a head that needs regular panel beating, but he was just up forward, a real live wire for them. And he kicked the 5 as well too. He was one off a bag, which was he kicked 4 as well too. And even the astronaut had a good night as well too. He was clunking everything.
Yeah, at the start he was clunking everything.
Clunking everything as well too. But it was just a really good night of football to watch. And the Western Bulldogs on their day can beat anybody. Can definitely beat anybody.
Oh, they're a tough team.
Yeah, they are. But they're a bit floaty too. Some of their bottom end, their bottom 6 are not as good as Collingwood's bottom 6.
Well, they just drop out. They just drop out of games.
Yeah, they do. Hey, Saturday's games. First Saturday game. What do you want to talk about?
Let's go Brisbane West Coast.
Okay, how much?
So we
was
can ask it quick.
That was what 260 points or something, wasn't it?
You thought it was going to be at one stage after last week's performances. I don't know. Brisbane do Brisbane up there.
Yeah. Can I just go through some of the numbers?
Sure.
Some of the numbers. How many inside 50s do you reckon West Coast have for the game? Nearest to the pin. People in the chats as well too. If you want to throw in a number, how many inside 50s did they have?
17.
A few more than that.
I just guessed it.
Yeah, well, you're pretty close. It's 29. For the game.
Way off.
They had 29 for the game compared to 62. Yeah.
30 by 4.
Contested possessions, they were smashed by 26. Clearances, they were beaten by 14. Contested mark, they had 36 shots to 10.
Wow.
They got smashed. Goal assists 13 to 3. Tackles, they got out tackled, out hit, out everything. Yeah. And, well, we talk about.
Are Brisbane the real deal away from Brisbane?
We'll find out on Friday night, won't we?
I guess we will.
We will. Still think
that's the knock, because what are they? They haven't
had
won down in Melbourne, have they?
That was against Melbourne in that final, which I still would say
down here or up there.
Here, and I'll still say, hand on heart, Melbourne were cooked by then. They were stuffed by the end of the season. They just had four injuries.
It's your coach's fault. Yep.
Probably, yeah. It's all Stephen May's fault for punching on with Melksham. That's what caused it. But Brisbane, they do what Brisbane does up there at the Brisbane Lions. How can Harris Andrews get 10 coaches' votes? The ball went into the forward 50, 29 times. He must have just been racking them up.
Yeah, I don't quite understand
I don't
that.
get it.
Unless he was literally marking it at the centre and then kicking it back in.
Actually, you never. Hey, do you reckon Lockie Neal's a chance for another Brownlow?
No.
No? You reckon Dacos has got it?
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone who's. There are people who have individual brilliant games and they may put two together, but Dacos has put a season together.
Well, Brady Ho got actually 2 coaches' votes for West Coast. So he must have been the only person who was trying.
That's just a participation award. That's just a certificate.
The 23 that turned up, that was one big giant participation award.
It's a long flight as well.
You know what? Tick it off. We got the win. No one got injured. Let's move on to Melbourne this week. That's all I can say. And West Coast again. When are we off to Cancun?
Yeah.
That's it.
We're going to Bali.
Yep. All right, next one.
Great game. Good game.
Which one?
GWS Hawthorn?
Yes. That was a Saturday game too, wasn't it? Was it
Saturday 4:35?
Yeah. It was a later game. Really good game. GWS are playing good footy at the moment.
Somehow.
Good. What do you mean somehow? No.
I have Pep's hand on heart. Yep. When I left the show round 5 this year, they weren't that good.
No.
They were shit.
I think there's been I mentioned this last week. They've had one game where they haven't won or lost by 20 points or 4 goals less.
Kingsley.
They've been really consistent across the board. And they just showed it again now. Once again, have they been easy kills? I don't know. Well, Melbourne was one of them. But Hawthorn have just got this knack where they can be really good or really shit.
Yeah.
And when they're good, they're good. And when they're shit, they're shit.
Yep.
They were shit against your mob a few weeks ago.
100 points and a half footy.
Exactly. And then they go ahead and do this. So it's young team. I think Mitchell's doing the right thing. I will say Tyler Brockman, interesting. He had a play rating of -1.
Yeah.
He must have been really shit. Oh, there's been an accident. But yeah, they were brilliant. Canelio, he's just having a massive rise back into the season as well too. He's had another 3 goals this weekend, 30 disposals, 550 metres gained. They just did everything that they need to do. Jesse Hogan's getting a lot more of the ball as well too. He had 4.
He's looking very free up, playing more of a high role.
Yeah, he's got his mojo back. He's got his first and second year mojo back. Like I said, I'm really heaved he left because I liked him, but I think he's realised what he needs to do. He couldn't do that. He tried it at Fremantle, didn't work. He's got a bit of rejuvenation and he's fit. That's the other thing.
Do you think that he can become a legitimate big forward of the competition again?
Uh,
Or is that past him? He's been more of a journeyman now.
No, he's only 20. I think he's only 25.
Third club though in
But
not a lot of time.
yeah,
Can he become a genuine big forward? A big key forward?
I reckon I reckon he could be a 40 goal a season guy. Yeah.
Okay.
40 goals in a season, definitely 40, 50.
You take that.
If you take it, well, he kicked 4 on the weekend, and he also had 15 disposals as well too. And also throw in 7 score involvements. He was pretty good. I just like what he's doing at the moment as well too. But Will Day and John Newcomb, they're the high points for Hawthorn at the moment. Outside of that, they're just probably looking forward to the season ending as well too. They've got some tough games rolling up towards the end of the season. I think you're moving into Melbourne versus St Kilda now. You could go literally through all the numbers here, and St Kilda had them. They led inside 50s, contested possessions, contested marks, shots, behinds, tackles, and still lost the game.
It was a good game because it was an actual ladder position change that could have occurred from the winner. Sorry, St Kilda won. They could have actually jumped. I bet at no point did I feel like St Kilda were a threat to Melbourne, though, Peps. I watched it, and I know, but I just didn't feel like they were ever going to threaten to run over you or get close. You had control.
Okay, so I'm a Melbourne supporter, and so I totally disagree with everything you said. Just anyone on the chat knows Melbourne supporters like that. But when King went down, Cordy went down, and I think it was Ross went down. That's when I knew that was it. You can't lose 3 players before quarter time. And they were really admirable until the last quarter. They just, like I said, ran out of petrol tickets as well too.
Yeah.
Take in mind though, Stephen May, he was the janitor. He was just cleaning everything up. He was mopping everything coming up down his way. He was just doing everything down back. Nothing could get past him. So he was sensational. Rowan Marshall against Gordon Grundy, I think, beat them both. And that says that, I think, from Melbourne's perspective, it's got to be someone needs to go to Grundy and say, you need to be the second dog. You can't be the big dog. You have to be the second dog, and we need you to take over.
But where can you play them?
So if I was them, I would play. I would say, this would depend on how the game is going. Game's going to be close. I'd say Gorn. Anything from the middle of the ground back is yours.
You put him back, okay?
Yep, I'd put him back behind the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Grundy, I'd say you take everything forward.
Okay.
Even though probably Gorn's a better contested mark,
much better.
I'd rather have him. Once again, if Melbourne's backline have got the game in check, I'd throw Gorn forward and I'd swap it over. But
where would you rest them? So you'd
I'd rest Gorn. I'd rest Gorn forward.
In the back line.
I'd rest Gorn forward.
Okay.
Actually, no, I wouldn't even rest Gorn forward. I'd take him off.
And you just rotate, just literally give him like 70-30 game time or something, 50 game time.
No.
Okay. Right.
No. I don't. No.
So you're saying that those two cannot be in the same.
Big guy down there, Melbourne will go back into their old school way of things, just bombing it in, and you can't use it.
Yep.
On the weekend, we had to lower the eyes a little bit more because we had a smaller forward line, and it worked.
Yep.
So I'd go with that as well too. I will say I haven't seen much of Nazai Wanganeen-Malera. Jeez, he's a good player. He's clean and quick. Got some spunk about him as well too, so I can see why he went high in the draft many, many years ago. But it was the usual suspects. Brayshaw probably had his best game for the year. Jack Steele did his thing.
Petrarca did his thing.
Yeah, Petrarca. Hey, look, one thing I noticed about Petrarca, he's goal kicking. He wasn't spinning the ball as he was walking in. It's 4 straight.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Just watch Plugger, Dunstall, Ablett. They just held the ball straight. Didn't fuck around with it by flipping it around everywhere. But Melbourne needed that win. St Kilda probably let that one go begging. Probably what the D's have done over the last few weeks. Let games go begging. They finally got one on the weekend too. So it's going to set up for a beautiful game on Friday before we wrap up with 1 week at a time, who we're looking forward to this weekend.
Yep.
All right. Geelong, North Melbourne.
Oh, Port and Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. Go for it, big boy.
All right. It was a tight tussle. Gold Coast were every bit of a step by step with us to halftime. Led quarter time, led halftime by a couple of points. And then Port seemed to have a gear. They just seem to have a gears that they can go through. And then from that, they kicked 9 goals in the third term. Absolutely changed the game. Blew Gold Coast out of the water. Probably could have been more. I mean, Gold Coast got probably 3 unanswered goals in the last quarter. But I think this just goes to show this season Port Adelaide definitely does have gears that they can go through. And it doesn't have to be the same play every time. Zach Butters was reasonably quiet on the weekend, but Connor Rosie stood up. We just have Finlayson is probably one of the most unheralded forwards in the game at the moment. Super.
He's awesome.
Super active in the forward line. Lots of assists, marks, kicks, goals. Really consistent. But yeah, Port just won a game that was there to be actually lost.
I've been waiting to ask this question for 12 weeks.
Yes.
Sign Kenny up?
You'd have to.
You'd have to?
How do you get rid of a guy? But
worst case, you go
2 years.
Straight sets.
Well, for me, I'm ultimately still going to wait until a decision till after finals.
Yep.
But how can you change a coach?
I think you can. I don't.
How can you? Peps, you're doing everything amazingly well at work. End of year review, Peps, we're going to let you go. But you did everything amazing. You can't have that.
I'm going to go somewhere else where they're going to pay me more.
But you won't. That won't never happen.
But I reckon that they will still do it after the end of the season. I know they're saying, why wouldn't you do it now and get it out of the way? We said August. We're going to do it in August.
Yeah, they said that we're not going to engage in conversation until August. They're not going to engage in conversation until August.
They need to. Horn Francis, amazing. Pal Pepper. How many goals of the year did you want to have coming out of that game? Rosie, I reckon the better one was Pal Pepper's 70-metre bomb.
Turn off one-step bomb.
I love him. Love him.
Reminds me of a younger version of you, Peps. Just
with less and less hair.
Less hair, yeah.
I can definitely tell from the physique. Way too strong. Jew gone.
Yeah, Jew gone. Yeah, the Jew gone.
You reckon the Jew's been kicked?
Yes, Stuart Jew is gone.
Stuart Jew's gone. All right, and I think Gold Coast season is finished as well too. All right, really quickly, Geelong versus North Melbourne. Not really much to see here. Geelong did what they had to. Stengel kicked 5. North, I don't know if any of you have seen some of the footage from the games. She's not very good footage from their senior.
Zabel.
I think he's going to be getting the tap on the shoulder, and I don't mean the good tap. I think he's going to be getting future endeavours tap. And but I still don't think they should get a priority pick.
No, not at all.
Priority picks. Just even scrap the idea of priority picks. Just scrap it. Full stop. Geelong, they're now in the 8. Can they do any damage?
Yes.
I still don't think they're clicking. I don't think they can.
Lots of games at home until now.
Still, no, not yet.
But before we jump on, Peps, what did you think of the substituting of King from the Port Adelaide game?
I have no issue with it.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's Ben King? Is that the only reason?
I think it's because he's the big marquee player up there and had a dirty night, and Drew subbed him. Drew subbed him.
Doesn't matter if it's a greyhound or a poodle. If a dog shits on your porch, you scrape it off. And they had to scrape him off because he was stinking up the joint. And we've got to do something. He wasn't getting near it. I think that's a great move by Stewie Jew to say no one is Alex Neil-Bullen. And
I wish the Australian cricket team coaches had that mantra.
Yes. This is what I do. I take out Warner. I drop Murphy. I bring in Nisa. I drop Boland. Drop Warner. Bring in Green and Nisa.
Okay.
Nisa swings it like a dunny door. Loves it.
All right. Carlton Fremantle.
And that I don't think anybody saw coming. I didn't see it coming. Carlton, absolutely gorgeous what they delivered.
Twin Towers, 3 goals each.
Yeah, good to see finally. Adam Chera's started to have a bit. Remember we spoke about Chera, I reckon, right at the start of the season, saying overrated. He really hasn't delivered. His last probably month of footy's been really good.
Yeah, he was good last year. He just didn't have it at the start of the year.
No, he didn't have his funk. But if you have a look at the usual names, wasn't it? Chera, Cripps, Walsh, Mackay, Sard, Curnow. Like we spoke about the Fab Five for Richmond. That's your Fab Five for Carlton, and they delivered. And they delivered in spades as well too. Like they had
good win over there.
Yeah, close to 30% more in the inside 50 counts. Smashed them in the mark. Smashed them in the clearances. 10 more shots. So they dominated it. And you know what? Good on them. Good to see Carlton get back on the board. Will they play finals? Look, they're going to rue the fact that they're not going to be maybe playing finals this year. But yeah, they'll be. That's the Carlton that we expect. Can they maintain it? Different story altogether. And Fremantle, well, we spoke about them earlier on. They're trash. Fremantle are trash. Flagmantle trashed.
Well,
the wankers with anchors are back.
You can't go into your forward 50 that little amount of time and only walk out with a 26% scoring conversion. That is terrible.
Yeah, just shocking. Just shocking. And you have a look at some of the disposal efforts from some of their big players like Jamie. Michael Frederick, 7.
You can't give Jai Missy on a 7-year contract, that guy.
Yeah, he's a gun too. I like him. Walters had 8.
Yeah.
Matt Johnson had 9. Luke Jackson had 10 with 1. Brandon Cox had 11. Butowski, Ethan Hughes, 13, 11 and 13. Well, they just didn't get their hands on the ball.
Yeah.
Dominated. Game of the weekend, easily, was the one at Marvell Stadium. My mum worked at this game. Dana, if you see her, see Danny at the Marvel Stadium week by week, just give her a hi saying, I'll listen to your son on Lace Out, not Jamie, Peps, and he's an absolute legend.
Where's your work?
Marvel Stadium, just, works around.
It's Marvel Stadium.
Yeah, she loves it. Absolutely loves it.
I might catch up and get a couple of tickets.
You can.
Yeah,
we'll hook you up. My people, your people. Scissor me, Daddy. Scissor me. Great game. Zach Merritt, geez, I'll tell you what, he has been a cracking captain for this mob.
Yes.
Darcy Parish, who I thought was the poor man's Clayton Oliver, he's having another nice season. Do you reckon Essendon should get rid of him? Should they sell high? Yep, sell high. All right.
I would go Parish over Edmund. Get rid of.
Yep. Yeah.
I think you find another Parish. I think it's hard to find another Redmond.
You can replace midfielders. You can't replace back. I reckon you've got to be confident. But Ash McGrath. Andy McGrath was awesome. Rory Laird, goodness gracious, you'll probably win their best and fairest again.
2 metre Peter.
What do you have? How many did he kick? What 2 metre Peter kick? 3. This goes to show, when he plays, Kyle Langford, Charlie Keegan brought him up earlier on in terms of how many goals he's kicked so far this year. He's been electric so far this season.
Look, they look good. I was speaking about it earlier. They just look good. They look competitive. They look hungry, and I like what Brad Scott's doing.
I really like what he's doing. The funny thing is, though, so Langford's been at Essendon since 2015. He's kicked 109 goals in his career, and 32 of them have been this year.
Yeah.
So you sit back and go, what have they been doing all this other time?
Yeah.
The man has just taken his opportunity and run with it, and he'll go close. I was going to say he's going to go close to winning his best and fairest, but then I realised that you've got other people like McGrath, Parish doing awesome. But hey, they're going to play finals this year, and I would not want to be a team looking forward to playing them in the finals at all. And Adelaide, well, you're going to be found out in the next few weeks because I think they're home this week and then they're away again. Mm-hmm. So the chances of them playing finals are all going to depend on if they can win outside of their state, and at the moment they can't too. So that is this week's Hey J-Dog, 1 week at a time before we wrap this bad boy up.
Yes.
Games that you're looking forward to this weekend, round 18. What have you got your eyes on? There is a Thursday night game. Might be the last one for the week, last one for the season. Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, it is. This week, is there any ladder shapers?
So a few ladder shapers.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Oh no, Friday night.
Yeah, Melbourne Brisbane, definite ladder shaper because if Melbourne win, they go. You could almost go 2 games clear of Brisbane. Sorry, 2 games clear of. If they lose, it means that somebody could jump into our spot. But percentage-wise, we're still probably going to hold.
It's a Cats Essendon and
Cats Essendon. So that's going to be possession because if Essendon win that, they could potentially jump to 5th. If they lose, they could potentially be out.
Yeah.
Adelaide Crows and Giants. Whoever loses that, I would almost go close to say their season could be done. Mm-hmm. Adelaide at home, so I'm tipping Adelaide to win that one. Carlton Port Adelaide, that'd be an interesting one too, especially the way Carlton played last week. You don't fear the G.
Don't fear the G. Anyway, Hey, Peps.
Yeah, buddy.
Final segment of the show.
Yes.
Who am I?
All right, come on. Final thoughts, J-Dog style, of his fantail. If you missed the start of the show, everybody, J-Dog's favourite lolly is the Fantail, and he's got one in his hand.
Remember how we used to have a whole
Oh, yeah, I banned that.
60-litre tub?
Jonesy used to eat them all. Jonesy and Heath.
Oh, that was so good. Anyway, as pre-COVID days when you could actually put your hand in a jar of lollies. All right. Born June 22, 1949, she is an actress of the theatre, television and film. After many theatre roles, she made her film debut with Julia in 1977. Both critical and commercial success came quickly with roles in The Deer Hunter, 1978. Very good, Peps. Sophie's Choice, 82. Out of Africa, 85. Mamma Mia, 2008. And Iron Lady, 2011. In August, Osage County, she received 17 Academy Award nominations, winning 3, and 27 Golden Globe nominations, winning 8. More nominations than any other actor in history, with many considering her the greatest actress of all time. I am Meryl Streep.
Well done, Jamie. You can read a Fantail. We'll look at it next week for Lace Out Live Fantail edition. Great to have you back, big boy. Like I said, this is going to be a regular occurrence. So for everybody, look, tell us how much you love J-Dog. We do. It's great to have him back. Most importantly, I'll be back this week with the tips on the podcast, and I've also been dropping them on the old TikTok. Been getting a bit of traction with that too. And also, stay tuned to my Facebook page because I'll definitely be delivering a rant after this week. I think my last week where the Demons exercise.
That was a good one. The week before was pretty weak.
It's what?
The week before
with the midgets.
Yeah, because it was such a good goal that sunk you guys, and you just needed more anger.
It goes with Giants, crowds, anything.
That's true.
So I'll have the tips in for later this week. But great to have the great man back. Most importantly, great to everybody. Give us a like, give us a share. We've got a few weeks left until the end of the season, then we'll be getting into the finals. So there's only 11 weeks of football left, everybody. 12 if you count the pre-finals by. So this will go quick. Quicker than myself in the bedroom. But most importantly, Jamie Wallis, the superstar that he is, that is the round 17 review. And before we go, the great man, the J-Dog, the number 7 ranked Iron Man in the world at one stage for his age group, which apparently is not true. How do you want your footy?
I like it. Lace out, and everyone, thank you much for having me back, and we'll see you all next Monday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock next week. Take care, gents. Take care, ladies. Go D's, and I hope your team wins.
See you later.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of Lace Out. Head over to iTunes and Spotify to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. And remember, join us every single Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, on our Facebook page with yours truly, Christopher Pepa, and the co-host with the most, Jamie Wallis, giving you your footy how you want it. Lace out.